God has never needed history to know the truth. The evidence has always been complete from his perspective. So perhaps history exists for someone else. The deeper I investigated, the more I found history asking the same question. Eden, different stories, yet they may all belong to the very same case. Imagine a judge who already knows exactly what happened. Would knowing the truth, or is a trial held because everyone else still understand why the verdict is just? What if history has never been random, but the place where justice, truth, and freedom become visible? Come with me, and let's follow the evidence. Most people don't begin questioning God in moments of comfort. The hardest questions are usually born when life no longer makes sense. And every honest investigation should begin by listening to those questions. For thousands of years, humanity has searched for an answer. Philosophers, scientists, theologians, ordinary people. Yet the very same question. Let's begin with 4 observations. God is all-powerful, all-knowing, perfectly good, and yet evil exists. If all 4 are true, how do they fit together? What surprised me most wasn't the answer. It was that Scripture never tried to hide the question. It preserved the voices of those who wrestled with God. Job believed his story began here, but the reader knows another story was already unfolding, was not the perspective. Job never witnessed this moment, yet every reader of Scripture is invited to. The difference wasn't the reality, it was the perspective. Job saw loss, confusion, and silence. The reader saw that story had begun long before the suffering. The facts never changed, only the perspective did. We often reach conclusions before we see the whole picture. We respond to outcomes without knowing every cause behind them. So perhaps the question isn't whether God is silent, but whether we are missing part of the story. Our investigation uncovered one assumption. We've often treated knowing as though it automatically means saying. But are those really the same thing? In any courtroom, knowing an event is not the same as causing it. Foreknowledge may describe awareness. If those two ideas are different everywhere else, should we assume they collapse into one when we speak about God? Foreknowledge is a real idea, but it may describe more than one thing. Some people treat it as determinant. A careful investigation should ask which meaning the Bible actually uses before assuming the answer. Every day, we travel to destinations we already know, but knowing where the journey ends doesn't remove the choices that shape how we get there. Certainty about a destination doesn't erase the reality of the path. A map may reveal the destination. Knowing where it never walks the journey ends doesn't remove the reality of every choice along the way. Across the biblical story, people make real choices. They obey, resist, trust, fear, follow, turn back. And yet, through every moment, Scripture, God presents knowledge as complete. One pattern appears again and again. Before judgment came a warning. Warnings only make sense if our response truly matters. One invitation echoes throughout Scripture. Choose life. A repeated invitation only carries weight if the response is genuinely meaningful. The deepest relationships all share something in common. Love cannot be demanded. Remove the freedom to choose, and love becomes something entirely different. This may be the most misunderstood tree in history. Before there was a fall, there was already a choice. Perhaps the real question isn't why the tree existed, but why love required one. Before humanity made a choice, God first spoke. A command assumes someone is able to hear, understand, and respond. Perhaps the relationship was always built on an invitation, not coercion. Every meaningful trust is eventually tested. Not because trust has failed, but because only a genuine choice can reveal what is truly in the heart. History's greatest deception didn't begin with force. It began with a question. Because before anyone changes decision, something usually changes their understanding. Notice what the serpent changes. He doesn't begin by denying God. He begins by inviting doubt about what God actually said. The voices changed. The cultures changed. But the first question never really disappeared. One pattern appears everywhere. Before judgment came patience. Again and again, God waited. Perhaps God's waiting was never hesitation. Perhaps it was mercy. Justice delayed can also be compassion extended. Justice was never abandoned. Before God had brought history to bear its cost, perhaps the greatest evidence of why God waits. The tomb is empty. Death has been defeated. So why does history continue? Perhaps this moment in history isn't an accident. Perhaps the time we call today, maybe we're not waiting for God. Perhaps God is waiting for us. Every generation has been given time, not because justice was forgotten, but because mercy remained. The question is no longer why God waits. The question what we do with the time He has given us. Empires have risen, and generations have passed. Yet through it all, God's patience has never ceased. History is made of generations, but every generation is made of individuals. Perhaps God's patience has never simply been for the world. Perhaps it also been for you. Every exhibit has pointed toward the same conclusion. God does not wait because justice is absent. He waits because His justice is giving Mer every opportunity to accomplish its purpose. Every question, every warning, every act of patience has always Cody be telling the same story. The evidence has been gathered. The investigation is complete. Now, the decision belongs to each of us. We began with one question. Why does God wait? Perhaps He wasn't delaying justice. Perhaps He waiting for us.
Every investigation reaches its end, but the search for truth continues.